one of the questions that I often get are questions about my experience at Stellenbosch or my experience being a medical student at Stellenbosch University. So I am currently doing my second year now, and I am going to talk about my experience from being a first year student up until go. So firstly, I'm going to talk about the academics. So at Stellenbosch University, we have only one module per year. We have two modules, but then per semester we only have one module per semester. So how this goes is that we have one module, and then that one module, I would say it's like sub-modules, but we call it themes. But on top of those sub-modules, we also have other things on the side that I would also say Z modules nazo, but then they're not as big, but they all count towards that one module. And then we have clinical skills, and then also going to clinics. So those are like your side things other than your actual academic work or theory work. And then for me, my first semester was fairly easy. I'm not even going to lie, like Andy's a processor. First semester was just cruising, especially because I also had a degree. So some of the things I've already covered, and we focused on ethics, we focused on the health system. And then also another thing about us, we do not have any maths, we do not have any physics. So for me, I really love that, especially because the last time I did e-maths was a long time ago. Also, we didn't really have like exams, we have tests, so we wrote every 2 weeks. Second semester was a bit of a jump. We had now your anatomy, your physiology, so looking at different systems, and then on top of now the theory work that you have to do, we also had dissection. So you also have to be comfortable with working with human bodies, like actual human bodies. On top of dissections as well, we did have clinicals, so clinical rotations or going to clinics, we also had to do that, and then also clinical skills as well. And umsebenzi was a lot. Then on top of that, we also had a lot of assignments. That is also another thing. I'm not sure if this is also a thing in other universities, but at Stellenbosch they love assignments. This year, and it was a lot of hours that you had to put in. Like it was a lot of other things that you also have to do, assignments, poster presentations. It was just a lot, and we hardly got time to just sit down. The only time you could sit down is if you consciously decided that, you know what, you're going to put yourself before in terms of umsebenzi, it's actually a lot of work that we do cover, and it's a lot of work that you also just have to prepare yourself mentally. You have to be able to make sacrifices. That's also number one. And then we also had to practice for the OSCE. We had our first OSCE, and when it comes to test, so all our tests or exams that we write are all multiple choice. But also we took guys, like as long as, I don't want to say as long as, just make sure that you reevaluate, you look back and say, okay, what can I improve in, what can I do better? Don't so what you born about, okay, I'm going down, and you let yourself go down. At least try to do something before you're at the bottom. Now I'm going to talk about the best things, which is the clinics. And I think going to clinics is definitely one of the things that is most talked about the new curriculum at Stellenbosch University. And I think for me, it is also one of the reasons why I'm so happy that I chose Stellenbosch. It sort of gives you a perspective from early on, or a view of your future life. And then when it comes to funding as well, I think Stellenbosch does have a great way in which they can like provide bursaries, like have funders and all of that. Last year I was also funded by ITEMBA, like a portion of my studies were covered by ITEMBA. This year as well, it has been the same thing. There's a lot of things that are accessible, a lot of extra resources that are accessible. If maybe you have problems with your academics, there's always resources that you can use and help that you can use from the request, use from the university. If you are struggling with your mental health, the free resources that you can use. And also the medical campus is quite far from the main campus, so that is also another thing that you should also be okay with, that our campus is quite far from the main campus. And as someone who comes from main campus, bora guys, I'm not even going to lie, like you can see it's really like a medical campus, and not that I found the main campus, but then I think there was a much more university experience at main campus. So that is also something that you have to be okay with. There are ways in which you can get to main campus. There are shuttles from health campus to a main campus. In overall, I would say that I'm really happy with the program. I'm happy with being a medical student at Stellenbosch University, and I don't think that I would have wanted to have it any other way.